Hey Mooch Crew, what's up? It's Alan Mitchell here, and I'm getting ready to review the Darlington Throwbacks. Of course, all these images are courtesy of NASCAR. As you can see, I'm on their website, NASCAR.com. Now, here's what we're going to do. Now, I did say that I was going to launch League of Legends this week on Wildcard Wednesday, and I will. But you guys are in for a double dose of it. This week, you guys are getting 2 Wildcard Wednesday videos. League of Legends and this Darlington Throwback review. Now, I'm going to actually review the cars on a scale of... I'm going to score these cars on a scale of 1 to 10. And we'll see which one I like the best. So let's get ready. So here's your ticket. That's what that looks like. That's actually a pretty cool ticket, but here we go. Our first throwback is Jamie McMurray with the... with the Untitled Chevrolet, throwing it back to Bill Elliott. That's pretty cool. Oh my god, hold up. Next team, we have Brad Keselowski in the number 2 Miller Lite Ford. This was inspired by the 1972 can design. Alright, going back to McMurray. This one actually is one of my favorite schemes because they use circles and little crosses to actually be stars. And you know what? It's fantastic. I actually love how they matched the color font of Bill Elliott's 94 from that season too. But one thing I'm really liking is the throwback decals. Seriously, those are pretty awesome. Alright, here with Keselowski, we have the... Like I said, this is actually another scheme I like. It's actually blue. There's blue on the car, so we can actually call it the Blue Deuce. Okay, here we got Austin Dillon with the American Ethanol car. And this car is designed after Ricky Rudd's car from when they won, from when he scored Richard Childress Racing's first win. The rest is history from there. Next car, we got Kevin Harvick throwing it back to Cale Yarborough from 79. Oh yeah, 79, where the famous Daytona fight took place. I've read about it. That's how I know of it. Casey Kane kicking it back to Terry Labonte. These J.D. Stacy Buick with this look. What I like about this car is that it actually replicates that look to the T. What I really would have been impressed with, and I'm not lying when I say this, I really would have enjoyed it if they had taken the 1996 look and then just did that. Bring back the yellow number 5. You got the yellow, you got the Kellogg's look from it. Oh, take off and run with it. Seriously, missed opportunity there. But you know what? I'm not complaining. This car is the one I like. It's simple. You just got you just basically have an arrow on the hood and that's it. There's that stripe. I can't tell. Trevor Bayne kicking it back to Mark Martin again. Now, his Advocare scheme from last season was one I loved. Not gonna lie. And this is another scheme that I really do enjoy. Of course, that does mean I have more throwbacks to actually go after. I'm just saying. Regan Smith kicking it back to Alan Kulwicki. But he's not the only one, and I'll explain why later. Now, my only complaint here is the font, man. The font. If you're gonna match it up to Kulwiecki's number 7 car where he won the championship with, at least get the font right. But other than that, I can't complain about this scheme. I love it. Here's a scheme I hate. Here's a scheme I hate. Danica Patrick's number 10. Bland, boring, seriously just not interesting. The only reason I have to have it, I quote unquote want it, is because I actually quote unquote need it to complete my Darlington collection. I say want and need loosely because I don't like Danica Patrick as a NASCAR driver. Denny Hamlin with the number 11 Sports Clips Toyota. And you know what? This is kicking it back to Darrell Waltrip's number 11. So, woo! I actually like this scheme. It's the blue on the bottom, red. I think the only reason that they actually made the back, as you can see, like right here where you see FedEx, black, is so that way you can actually see the word FedEx. So other than that one small kink there where it's black instead of red, the car's really cool and I love it. Casey Mears kicking it back to Smokey Yurnick. And you know what? I have officially named the car Black Cat. Yes, I named the car Black Cat. I don't care if there's gold on... I don't care if that's gold. I don't care if there's gold on the car. The car is mainly black, thus ensuring the name Black Cat. So there you go. This one actually is a cool scheme because here you actually have all the. They even managed to put Smokies. He's in town. The best damn Smokies, the best damn garage in town, on the quarter panel of their car, and that's actually pretty cool, and I like that. Tony Stewart kicking it back to Bobby Allison with the number 14 Coca-Cola Chevrolet. Now this scheme is actually another one I like. It's simple, but I like it. Yeah, they have like kickback bottles, and they actually managed to put 358 cubic inches on both sides of the hood. That's pretty cool. That's actually great. I love it. Clint Boyer kicking it back to Benny Parsons. This is with the 5-hour energy. This was revealed yesterday, actually. So, you know what? As basic as it is, I kind of like it. Now, if only Lil Rhino would actually get on making the rest of the throwback diecast cars, that would be great. Here's the other car, and this one's actually closer to Alan Kulwiecki's car than you think, because Hooters is on the car. Greg Biffle will be throwing it back to Alan Kulwiecki's 92 scheme as well as Regan Smith, with Hooters on the car. I bet you if this diecast car ever comes out, I'm not gonna lie, this car comes out, this is gonna be the one that gets the most looked for, the most bought. I'm calling it right now. That is when it gets made. But of course, again, the font's a complaint I have, but I'm gonna cut Greg Biffle some slack here because they got the same colors. But seriously, match up the font, man. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. kicking it back to Darrell Waltrip. You know what? Don't think I've ever complained about a scheme looking like a throwback. I never do. I never knew. This scheme was run by Darrell Waltrip. I don't remember which year it was, but it's a Darrell Waltrip scheme. Kyle Busch kicking it back to Interstate Batteries 1993. And you know what? I love the scheme. Hell, I wish this was the primary scheme. Have you seen the Interstate Batteries scheme? Good God, I wish I could shoot that thing and I wish I could just tear that thing up and take it to the junkyard. Just to prove a point. I love this scheme. Here we have Carl Edwards throwing it back to Tony Stewart's 1999 Home Depot ride. Now, here's what I love about the car. First off, it's a throwback to Tony Stewart. So, this is his 1999 rookie ride. Number two, what I like about this car is how they actually got first place modems on the side stenciled the same way the Home Depot logo was. That's not just something you do. That's art. It's also they put the word Eris, the Eris first place modems on the hood in the same stenciling, which is really, really cool. So I love this scheme, actually. I'm not going to lie. I said I was going to rate these cars. I'm just going to criticize them and praise them. One thing I'm not going to complain about is the font, because seriously, if Carl Edwards was racing the 20 car just for one race, I swear this Darlington would be the race to do it. But you know what? I don't care. It's a good one. Matt Kenseth kicking it back to the Tide car. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. He's got Tide Pods on the car. But he's throwing it back to, I don't know, Darrell Waltrip, Ricky Rudd, Ricky Craven. That's 3 throwbacks right there. That is 4 generations of Tide cars right there. Yeah. Don't tell me to look back twice. Yeah, so that way, so now you guys know, when I'm talking about a yellow car coming, or when I'm talking about a car that says Tide, you know it's Kenseth. I like this scheme, actually. It replicates the Tide scheme throughout the years, down to the T. It's wonderful, just one of those things that I would love to see. Just one sponsor I'd love to see back on a car. Tide. Hey, Tide, could you do us a favor and sponsor Matt Kenseth full time so we can see the Tide scheme every year? Thank you. Here we have Ryan Blaney kicking it back to David Pearson. This scheme is if I can pull up my notes. Here we go. Yes. This scheme is based on the 1979 number 21 Perlator Mercury. As you can see, it's got the pinstriping. I guess you can call that pinstriping, I guess. I don't know. I'm not into hot rods or anything. You got David Pearson's name over the 21, just like it would be in the old days. You got the blue stripes, then you got the red running from the headlights up to the roof, and all the way down to the spoiler. So that's something I am interested. I do like seeing. Next car, Joey Logano kicking it back to Bobby Labonte's 1996 to 1998 Xfinity number 44 Pontiac with Shell on the car. Again, this is another scheme I like. It does a pretty good job replicating its counterpart. I think it would have been a lot better if Team Penske went with the Chevrolet and not Ford, but I can't control what they do. Retro ads for David Ragan's number 23 Dr. Pepper Chevrolet. Look, I'm a pepper, I'm a pepper, I'm a pepper. It's clearly got the retro look to it. My favorite thing about it is the retro look in 23. I can't deny that. This game is another one that if you don't have in your collection, you're screwed. So I recommend getting this car. Totally. If you're going for a diecast collection, of course. Next up, Chase Elliott's number 24 Napa Chevrolet, looking like the Napa trucks from the 1960s. What we got going here is Chase Elliott's number 24 car, looking really throwback. A lot of people, including myself, didn't like the number 24 scheme, but our only complaint with it is it needs more yellow. This is the perfect amount of yellow. And this is exactly what I would think when I see a Napa car. What I'd like to see Chase Elliott's scheme next year look like is blue on the blue, and then yellow on top. What actually is cool about this one is they actually have their modern logo with their retro colors. That's something I can applaud. Paul Menard to race the Valvoline scheme. Last year it was Dale Jr. who ran Valvoline, and I loved that one. This year, Paul Menard's running Valvoline Menards. This scheme was actually run by Al Unser Jr. in his only NASCAR start, the Daytona 500, back in '93 or '2. I don't know. I never got a full answer. But nevertheless, again, the retro throwback logos are there. This car does a really good job of replicating its counterpart to the T. Moving on. Ryan Newman's throwing it back to Ricky Rudd's to Richard Childress's first win as well, with the Caterpillar colors. Now, here, I do have one thing I want to point out. I would like this scheme better if they actually I was going to say something here. Oh, right. I would actually like this scheme a lot better if they actually replicated it with the red, white, and blue and made the car yellow. But of course, who am I to judge, right? It's better than his scheme from last year. Jeffrey Earnhardt driving the number 32 car will be throwing it back to Dale Earnhardt's Wrangler car. You can even see the font looks the same. That's something I can actually applaud. I love this look. A lot of us are actually worried that Tirsa Earnhardt's going to complain about, you can't do that, Just shut up. Trust me, I've been reading that story. I got a bone to pick with Tirsa Earnhardt on that one. But needless to say, I do love this scheme. Chris Buescher taking it back to the canopy of the first Love's travel stop ever opened. And then you know what? It's actually kind of cool. You got red, orange, yellow, and then just cream. It starts off brown, and then you got red, orange, yellow, and then cream on top. That's great. A lot of cars actually were kicking it back to the old days, and Chris Buescher is no exception. His teammate Landon Castle is kicking it back to J.D. McDuffie with this look from the 1970s. Okay, so here's something cool I see. I see that there's JD on the side of the car, and I like that. Bailey Excavating. That's where the sign I saw said. said Ruffles Furniture Co. Inc. Okay, looks like they got 2 sponsors on the side this week. So that's pretty cool. So this is another scheme I like. It's simple, but yet elegant. Kurt Busch kicking it back to Stewart Haas, to the first Haas CNC engine, Haas CNC engine ever made, the VF1. Now this has that now that was made in '88. I really would have thought they were gonna throw it back to they were gonna toss in the F1 scheme here and be like an F1 scheme here, but I'm like, you know what? They probably wouldn't do that. What I'm actually interested to see is what throwbacks they're going to be able to do with when Stewart Haas Racing swaps over from Chevrolet to Ford. So that's something I'm really interested in. This scheme is actually simple, and I love it. And the colors actually work for me. Black, red, gray. I love it. Moving on. Kyle Larson kicking it back to Target's racing start in the 1990s when they ran as they sponsored Indy cars with the Eddie Cheever Target Chip Ganassi Indy car. Target's leaving IndyCar at the end of this year. Sucks, yes. But you know what? Let's just marvel at the glorious thing of this car. Is that it actually does a great job of replicating the Target scheme that was run by Eddie Cheever down to the T. And actually, this was one car I was worried about not getting a throwback. Because I was seriously like, Larson had a great throwback last year. Blaney has had a great throwback last year. Junior had a great throwback last year. And then they just go on and on. All the great throwbacks just came out, and it was an onslaught of throwbacks from last year. It was great. But this year I was worried that Larson wasn't going to be able to get a throwback out. And then this gem comes out, I'm like, oh, yes! I like it. And my only complaint is, why didn't they just take the modern Target logo? I don't know. Like, seriously. I don't know. The scheme is actually cool, though. It's a nice, good homage to Target's racing start. Richard Petty throwing it back to 1970. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Eric Almirola is throwing it back to Richard Petty with this 1972 STP scheme. Now this one is another one I like. It goes back to its roots. Well, then again, everyone knows the 72 ride, am I right? There have been a lot of good STP schemes out throughout the years with the Petty camp. I can't even imagine not associating Richard Petty's team with STP. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I meant not. My apologies, guys. I'm kind of out of it today. Oh, Michael Annette's throwback's been revealed. Oh my gosh, I did not expect to be reviewing this. This is a bombshell for me. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, can you believe that? Hang on, I am trying my best, guys. There we go. Oh my gosh, that's cool. I don't know what this is a throwback to, but I am intending to find out. Because this one is another good one. I'm guessing it's a throwback to Pilot's first chain stop, and then Flying J is just there because they're a joint company now. That would be my best guess. But whatever, that's cool. AJ Allmendinger throwing it back to Rookie of the Year from 1975, Bruce Hill. You know what? This game is a great replication of that number 47 car. They even matched up the font. So this game is actually cool. I like it. You got Jimmy Johnson kicking it back to Pearson and Earnhardt. Now, Earnhardt actually raced this game and won the championship in 1980. Only that number was number 2. I think Pearson stepped in for a race in 79, Talladega, I think. I don't know. I'd have to look at that story. But I don't want to right now because I'm in the middle. I am too deep into throwback heaven right now. Alright, we got Martin Truex Jr. kicking it back to something, I guess. This actually has 1960s and 1916 advertising, and Auto Owners Insurance is actually celebrating their 100th anniversary. So, I would guess that this would be a 1916 look for Auto Owners Insurance. I think. I don't know. Retro look for Matt Benedetto with Orange Crush on the car. Man, I'm telling you, this game is cool. You got the orange, the blue. Shut up and take my money. Just shut up and take my money. Totally want it. 10 out of 10. Totally wants. Dale Jr. is going to be running the Gray Ghost. And as a side note, Jeff Gordon will be filling in for Dale Jr. at Darlington because Dale Jr. is still out with concussion-like symptoms. Get well soon, Dale Jr. Alright. Here's the thing. Here's the thing I love about this game. It completely throws it back to the Gray Ghost. I'm talking all out. You got the gray number. You got the orange outline. I really would have thought this would have been Chase Elliott's car because the Gray Ghost was actually sponsored by Napa. Coincidence? Yes. Yes, it is. But Dale Jr. has gone on record and said that he loves the Gray Ghost scheme. So I have gone and affectionately nicknamed his nationwide car for this year Blue Ghost. Yep. Blue Ghost. Alright, our last scheme that we have to go over is Michael McDowell's number 95 Thrivent Financial Chevrolet, which kicks it back to Richard Childress's car from I think 73 or 83. No, 73. Because Senior got in the car in 81 and after that, it was history from there. Now, this game does a nice job of throwing it back to Richard Childress. Just, even the font. Even the coloring of the number. Silver, black, nice. Well, guys. That was a fun ride. And I will be seeing you guys in my next Wildcard Wednesday video, whatever that may be. Until then, I'm Al Machole, signing out. See you guys in my next video.